do you believe it's appropriate for a black Muslim to have the N-word in his or her vocabulary?
Question says, do you think it's appropriate for a person to have the N-word in his or her vocabulary? Well, my personal opinion, where that was the stipulation of the question, it depends on the person. It depends on the person. And once again, this is my personal opinion. Okay? It depends on the person. I would humbly say, from my limited research, when we start talking about racism, colorism, you start talking about slavery, you start talking about the caste system, it exists without a doubt in history and in different cultures. However, I think one of the biggest things that's ignored is the caste system. And sometimes the caste system is stronger than actual racism or colorism. Many books that you read or movies that you may watch or documentaries or storybooks, school books, whatever the case may be, they'll talk about racism or slavery and they'll restrict it just to a race thing, a black and a white thing, which is not always the truth. Okay, rather among whites, there's castes. High-born, low-born, noble, peasant, owner, landowner, a landlord. What is the word landlord? You know where the word landlord comes from? It's a very old word, a lord of land. Someone who's higher and above people that are beneath him, even though their skin may be more pale. And also among people of color, whether it's people from the African continent, from Asia, South America, Central America, who have some type of color or whatever the case may be, whatever words you want to use, politically incorrect. They may treat certain people of their own race or their own ethnicity beneath them. With regards to war, okay, the concept of superiority and inferiority. We're all of the same race, but because we won in a war, you're now my captive. And I now sell you to someone else. Everybody understand this? So it's not always necessarily a thing of color, but it's oftentimes a thing of and the same applies with regards to the N-word and with regards to the urban lifestyle. Oftentimes it's not a black and a white thing. You may find someone who's white, who's black, someone who's Hispanic, someone who comes from China, or my parents from Japan. He may Bangladesh, he may say, yo, that's my, what's up? I don't know if we can say this on camera or not. That was the question. I don't know if we can say. We may not be able to say that on camera. What's important is, person is not black, yet and still, how they were raised, where they were raised, who they were raised around, they have that type of lingo or that type of what? Culture. And then you may find someone who's black, who comes from, let's say, for example, a wealthy family, or they lived in the suburbs, or they lived in the country, or whatever the case may be. All types of negative words, terms they use against him. You're this, you're that, you're so on and so forth. He may talk like, if you hear him, you think he's a white person.
Right.
Okay? You see him say, oh, I didn't know you were black. The guy, I didn't know you were black. I thought you were Caucasian on the application. On the phone, we can't hire you. It's a reality.
It's true.
Okay? So oftentimes it's based off of what? Where you come from. Where you what? Where you come from. So someone who's from the inner city, black, white, yellow, or green. And someone who isn't from the inner city, white, black, yellow, or green. Everybody understand this? So I think, my humble opinion, Allahu Alam, first and foremost, it depends on the person, where you come from. It also depends on how you use it. And also depends on the assortment of the words that you know. If that's the only word that you know, the only vocabulary that you have, that's one thing. But if you do know other words, you can say other things, but just, it's reality. Everybody understand this? So that's my personal opinion. It depends. There's no one what. We're keeping it real, Sheikh. He said, son, huh? That's my humble opinion. Me personally, I think that a lot of people, they have a misconception of the word. Some people, no doubt, should not use the word. Some people should not say the word. And then some people, you say, wa alaikum salam. Yeah, brother Fulan, that's my man. It depends. It depends. Wallahu alam.
That's true. That's true.
That question was not from me. It was from somebody online, right?
It's more of a caste system, chef. I agree.
Lord help us.
No. Correct.
Initials MK from London, UK. Does someone with a during in
Yeah, I mean, before we go any further, we all know the history of the word, or we should know the history of the word. Okay? And being a term of scorn,
Right.
or also being a term of endearment, meaning like that's my man, that's my homie. Or the term sometimes is just used for a person. Yo, let me tell you what it said, man. Somebody may say that. And the person is not black or you're just a person.
Right.
So it depends on how it's used.
That's correct.
It depends on who says it, how you say it. Are there better words? No one is going to disagree with that. No one is what? Going to disagree with that. However, you have to look at the context of the word because sometimes it's used meaning beloved.
That's correct.
And sometimes it's used in a very derogatory, mean and base
Yes.
way. Everybody understand this?
Yes.
So that's important. The context, the place, who says it. Everybody understand this? Wallahu alam.
this is from M.